Blame it all on. 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 Blame it all on me. Hank, blame it all on me, Taylor. Blame it all on Hank, blame it all on, blame it all. Hank, blame it all on. Blame it all on me, Taylor. Blame it all on me, blame it all on me, Taylor. Blame it all on, blame it all, blame it all, blame it all. Hank, blame it all on, Hank, blame it all on, Hank, blame it all on. Blame it all on me. Hank, blame it all on me, Taylor.
A family unit is the unit that builds up a person's personality. How you behave and what you become in life is very much dependent on your family life. At Embraced by Grace, we believe your family should come first. Children who have a sound family background and who belong to a family with strong family ties are almost always happier. Thus, one cannot deny the importance of family life. Allow Embraced by Grace to show you and your family the way to a brighter future today. Visit us online at embracedbygrace.org and start growing your happy family today.
Welcome.
It's live on the TV or the internet, so whatever you call it. This is the Jeff Adams Show, and Bob's probably watching this right now and going, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? I apologize early, Bob. I apologize early. Keep looking behind me. I think there's always someone watching me.
I know you do. You're acting a little paranoid there.
Anyways, we're here on the Jeff Adams Show, and it's great to have everybody back. I'm going to start to my right, probably her left or right. All right, left. We got Nicole Welch in the house.
What's up, people? I am so glad to be back. I missed you guys all last week, but I've been laughing.
We missed you.
Laughing for that pre-show. I wish we could have recorded it.
There was, you were missed. It was, our children's pastor from my church came in here, and the room was full of lots of BO. There was no woman perspective whatsoever.
And you were missed by all the ladies on Twitter.
Oh, thank you, ladies. We got to represent.
It was the testosterone edition of the Jeff Adams Show.
Yeah.
And then we have, this man is a legend.
He is a legend.
On so many levels.
Thank you.
We have Hank the Tank.
Blame it all on me. Taylor. That's me. Blame it all on me. Thanks.
And he is a rapper, guys, in case you were wondering.
And Kris, we have RC Kris in his house.
Yeah.
Holding it down. Listen, guys.
Shaven face.
We're not going to keep Bob, bored
Kris, baby
the way
face,
we do the show, but
cruising with
Kris.
Cruising
RC
with baby
Kris.
face? Cruising with baby face.
Yeah, he's got a baby face now.
When will I see you again? Sorry.
Good. We're still crazy from the pre-show.
Oh, shut up.
We're on natural radio now. We're on
Bob.
terrestrial radio now.
On the FM band.
Gonna lose all my deals. My one deal.
Your one deal.
La una.
I'm really excited about this guest today on so many levels. I actually read this book in probably 2 hours. 2 hours. Great book. And we have with us today the one and only Bob Burg. Burg is a word, right? You ever get that, Bob? You ever get Burg? Burg's a word. You get that?
Not so much that. Last time I heard that was on the Family Guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminded me of, no, usually it's iceberg, hamburger and all the others.
Hamburger.
Give it up for Bob hamburger.
Burg.
Oh, the camera was back on me. I was doing my imitation. Hamburger. So, Bob, I got to tell you, I heard your name for many, many times, and me and Kris were talking. Maybe it was, 2 weeks ago, Kris?
Yep.
And so I picked up the book, and first thing before I get into these questions, I want to tell you something. This book is probably, I'm not saying this because you're on my show. I come from a dyslexia background. I grew up dyslexic, had a speech impediment. I picked up this book and read it in 2 hours. It was such an easy read. I just, page by page, it was amazing. It's just an amazing book.
Well, first, I thank you for that. I appreciate that a lot. As far as it being an easy read and the characters coming to life, that was really my co-author, John David Mann, who I was honored and privileged to work with. He is a masterful storyteller. And so I will pass that along to him, and I know he'll appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, first, I think it should be a movie. Is there a movie in the works for this thing?
We've had people sort of float that past us. I see it as more of a made-for-TV movie as opposed to a big screen movie. I'm not sure, but I'd love to see it happen one of these days if that's in the cards for it to happen.
Oh man, I think it is. I just think that's how I read it. I saw it visually when I was reading it. It was amazing. I saw the characters. It just was just one of those. I cannot stress enough. I mean, it takes me a while to read a book. And I was surprised, looked at my wife and go, I read this thing in 2 hours.
What was the one thing you loved about it, Jeff? It
just from the first page, I was engulfed in this story. I mean, each word that was written, I just felt like I was watching a movie. And then I had to go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, or put kids down. I put it down. I just could not wait to get back to this book. So I mean, what's your overall response on the book, Bob? I know you have several other new books out. You have what are some of the new books you have out?
Well, John and I wrote a follow-up to that, pretty much geared toward sales, called Go Givers Sell More, in which we take the principles, the laws from the book, and we show how people have actually applied them into their businesses. That's not a parable or a fable. It's more of a, it's not really a how-to either, but it's more the application of the Go Giver principles. And then we did a follow-up after that called It's Not About You, which it takes place in the same fictional town. And I have a new book out now called Adversaries into Allies, which is again, it's more of a how-to book. It's really about people skills and about taking our ideas and communicating them in a way that people, rather than being defensive and resistant to them, will be more accepting of them.
Right. So the premise of the book, the go-giver, that seems to contradict traditional wisdom. I mean, what do you have to say about that?
Well, you're right. I think it does contradict traditional wisdom, and yet the people who are already very successful, they were applying those laws long before the Go-Giver came to be. There's nothing about this story that John and I made up. What we did is tap into what has worked for people since time immemorial, and for us in our respective lives, and others who we've studied. The basic premise of the book is really nothing more than shifting your focus, and that's really the key. Shifting your focus from getting to giving. And in this context, when we say giving, we mean constantly and consistently providing value to others, providing value to the marketplace. And when your focus is on that, not only is it a nicer way to live life, but it's a very financially profitable way to live life as well.
Have you had any testimonies if someone read the book and go, I applied this, and I don't want to give the ending away of the book that for those who haven't read it, obviously, but have you heard any extraordinary testimonies like, I applied this book and it did this for me?
We're fortunate to hear those all the time. And the reason why, I think, is because it is that little shift in focus that makes the big difference. And so we hear from everyone from top leaders who said, yes, this is what I've been doing, what I've been trying to tell the people on my team. But what we've done is we've used the book and put the book into the company culture and so forth. And people are having these great results. Now we consider ourselves to be a go-giver type company. Or the person who was a roofer in Pittsburgh, who, when the financial disaster really happened, and they're business really went sideways, and they said they got the book and they stopped feeling sorry for themselves and how bad business was, and instead started to focus on, okay, it's not about me, it's about my customers. How can I continue to communicate value to them? And boom, their business turned around right away and became profitable again. So yeah, we do hear those a lot, and that's always so gratifying.
Yeah. So you have 5 laws which you promise that if people will only follow these things, they will be successful regardless. You want to explain these laws for us?
Sure. The laws themselves are the laws of value, compensation, influence, authenticity, and receptivity. The first one is the law of value, and that says that your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Now, when you first hear that, it sounds, to use a word that you used earlier, counterintuitive. How do you give more in value than you take in payment and survive, never mind thrive? It sounds like you're giving away the store. So we just need to understand the difference, the big difference, the significant difference between price and value. Price is a dollar amount. It's a dollar figure. It's finite. It is what it is. Value, on the other hand, is the relative worth or the desirability of something to the end user or beholder. In other words, what is it about this thing, this product, service, concept, idea that brings with it so much worth or value that someone will willingly exchange their money for it, which is the basis of a free market-based exchange, 2 people willingly exchanging with one another, and that they'll do that and feel great about it because they got so much more than they paid for while you still make a profit. In the book, we talked about Ernesto, the restaurateur who gave such a great dining experience. It was upper end, and you paid a lot of money for that dining experience, but you came away from it feeling like $1 million. You came away from it feeling great. You got much more in value or use value than what you paid for. But Ernesto certainly made a very, very healthy profit on the food when you subtract all his overhead costs and costs of goods sold and so forth. So there should always be a win for both parties. Harry Brown, one of my favorite teachers, used to say that in every free market-based exchange, there are always 2 profits. The buyer profits and the seller profits, because each one exchanged something they wanted less for something they wanted more. But it's up to the salesperson, if you will, the business person, who it's up to them to make sure the focus is in the right place. And that's always on the customer. Because when you do that, now you've built that relationship, you've built that trust. And that's why we say that money is an echo of value. It's the thunder to value's lightning. The focus must be on the value. That comes first. The money you receive is simply a very natural and direct result of the value you've provided.
Wow. Have you ever I think your volume's up loud a little bit. Have you noticed that I've run into a lot of bad, we did a show a couple weeks ago about bad customer service. And after I read this book, I said, you know what? I should buy it for some of these people because they don't put any value in what they're doing. I mean, I ran into a lot of problems. I had an electrical problem, and that was one thing, but I went through 3 different people to fix my gutters. And the people that we hired for the job, they basically came to the door, rang my doorbell, and goes, "Hey, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a work order for this." And I hired them to do the job. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But the first principle there, I think, really applies to, adding value to the experience. You rarely ever get value to the experience with a lot of these people today. It's very sad.
Well, that's why to the degree that we maintain free markets, that's the degree that customer service tends to go up, because the marketplace, which is really the best natural regulator there is, punishes bad service. And it rewards great service. In other words, you go through those 3 people or those 3 companies that you were not happy with, you don't do business with them again. And you probably tell others who ask you, what about this company? But then you find someone who shows up and does the work, does the thing, provides the value. And now you tell everybody about them. Well, that's what free market's about. Whereas when you're doing business with, let's say, a government bureaucracy, it doesn't matter. There's no vested interest for them to go above and beyond. They can do the bare minimum. And this is why I'm always advocating for free markets.
That's great. I get irritated too when I I'm a Mac guy, but when I call Microsoft, I don't get anybody I can understand. drives me absolutely nuts. Customer service. You pay for something you want a great experience. Period. Kris, did you have anything you wanted to ask?
Oh yeah. Since real quick, Bob, we have since we're going to the 21st century and most of the companies are going to online base. So how can you transfer these 5 laws and, for example, bring that law of authenticity, the law of receptivity and the law of value on an online business where all you have is literally a website and that's it?
That's a great question, Kris. And by the way, Kris has become one of my best buddies in the world, I think, on Twitter.
Thank you.
So he's a great guy. But I think, Kris, you answer, in a sense, your own question just by the way you are on Twitter. I mean, you come across totally authentic as yourself. You add value. You are the most valuable tweeter for Doc and Skip. So, on the Blaze. So here's what I think it comes down to. In law number 3, the law of influence, one of the mentors tells Joe that the golden rule, the law of influence itself, is your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interests first. Now, there's nothing doormatty about that. Okay, it's not saying you should be self-sacrificial or a martyr. That's not what we're talking about. It's just that the golden rule of business is that all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. And there's no faster, more powerful, or more effective way to elicit those kind of feelings toward you from others than to genuinely and authentically make your win about the other person's win. Well, here's what it comes down to. Whether it's in person or online in social media, no one does business with and refer businesses to those computers they know, like, and trust. It's the person at the computer. So the question you need to just ask yourself is, how can I provide value to those people I'm communicating with on social media? So whether it's connecting people with one another, whether it's putting out tweets that add value to their experience, if you're a copying machine repair salesperson and so you have make sure that you're always notified whenever someone tweets something, a problem they're having with their copying machine, and you see it and you make sure that you respond to them. There's all these kinds of things we can do to make sure that we're creating the environment where we can always be value-based for others. It doesn't really matter the medium itself.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I think that reigns really true in society today. One of my favorite books is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a great book that I read all the way back in high school, and I've tried to read it every year since then. But one of in part 2 of his book, which is 6 Ways to Make People Like You, one of his points is to be genuinely interested in other people. I think that people can spot somebody who is ingenuine and fake a mile away, and they won't want to bring, they won't want to bring their business to someone who they can tell really doesn't care about them. And for them, it's all about, the dollar amount, but it's not about exchanging something of value like we're talking about, exchanging something that's worth more than what you're paying for.
Well, Hank, I think that's very true. And while there are those people who are good at, fooling people for a while, it doesn't last long. I mean, I think you're right. People tend to know, and especially in today's social media age, where my friend Mark Sanborn, who wrote the best-selling The Fred Factor and other books, Mark says it used to be that all you had to fear was word of mouth. Now you have to fear word of mouse. And so, people can very easily just point, click, and say something nasty about you, and it puts you in a bad position. But I think that's good. People abuse that privilege, unfortunately. But I think it's good that you've got to be authentic now. You've got to be genuine. You will be found out if you're not.
That's so true. Oh.
I told you he was good.
Hey, Nicole, you got a question?
Bob, yeah, I have a question, and thank you so much for being on the show. It's a real honor to have you here. You said all things are built equally. Where do you draw the line, though, as far as, I've done traditional businesses, online business, I've done nonprofit work. As far as service goes, you talked about being a doormat, and we're not talking about being run over and just doing everything. Where do you draw that boundary so that you are not having codependent relationships with your clients and they're calling you literally, all night long, and you're running around and you're literally burning yourself out. I mean, maybe a listener out there who's listening right now, what could you give some advice for that area, that law of influence, where there is some line to be drawn? Where is that line?
Well, Nicole, your question is key. And one thing I always make sure people know is to please not confuse being a go-giver with someone who allows themselves to be stepped all over and taken advantage of. The two have nothing to do with one another. While go-givers tend to go out of their way to make the experience great and to add more value, they certainly don't allow themselves to be taken advantage of. If you're, I always say, if you're a nice person, when people say, well, they're such a nice person, they allow themselves to be, they get taken advantage of. I always say, if you're a nice guy, nice gal, nice person, and you find yourself being taken advantage of, it's not because you're a nice guy, a nice gal, or a nice person. It's because you do things in such a way that you allow yourself to be taken advantage of. So we need to be careful about something like that. So here's where communication comes in. Let's say that you have an agreement with someone that you're providing this particular service for someone. I don't know what it is, but you can pretty much imagine anything. Sure. Now, it's in the agreement what the expectations are. Then there's nothing wrong with that. That's a wonderful thing. Now, if you go above and beyond because it's your way of creating more value and it's congruent with your values in order to do that, that's wonderful. But if someone's trying to take advantage of it, and by the way, it may not be purposely, they may not really know what the limit is. But if they're doing that consistently, and of course in corporate speak, that's called scope creep. Right, where it's like a little bit more and more and more, and it's now expected. It becomes an entitlement mentality, right? Rather than appreciated. So you've got to be able to communicate it. But that's where tact and empathy comes in. It's a matter of not saying, "Hey, you're taking advantage of me." That's a you message, and it's likely to make that person defensive. It's likely to But instead, you could say, if it's okay, I need to discuss something with you that's been on my mind. And I wonder if we could, boom. And so when you're in a conversation, then you're in the conversation with this person, and then you go over the agreement. I just want to make sure that our expectations are both aligned so that I can be sure that I'm servicing you properly and that you can be very, very happy with the customer experience.
Right, because it's win-win. Right, win-win for both. Right,
exactly.
The equality there.
Yeah, and which means it's 100-100, not 50-50.
Exactly.
You really want this person. You want them to to find great value in your services. And you should also have great value in your services. You should make a healthy profit and enjoy what you're doing.
Right. So, and I guess my question was geared more towards like when businesses have that scarcity mentality. So it goes back to what you said earlier. They're looking at the cost, the price, the dollar. And so they're not wanting to lose that, so they're going above and beyond because of that. Again, it's those motives and that shifting.
Well, that's where coming from a prosperity consciousness. And, easier said than done sometimes, right? But that's what we've got to maintain. Because regardless, remember, nobody's going to do business with us. They're not going to buy from us because we need the money.
Exactly.
They're business with us or buy from us because they feel there's greater value to them in doing so than in not doing so. And that's the way it should be. So as long as we're focused on communicating value to them, then we're on the right track. But it's not just communicating value as we believe it's of value. It's finding out how they see that value. In other words, value is always in the eyes of the beholder. It's not we think is of value. It's not what we think they should think is of value. It's what they believe is of value. And to the degree that they value our product, services, and us, that's the degree that price gets taken out of the equation. You're selling on value rather than price.
That's great, Bob. How would they find out what the client values? Because what I see is a lot of people don't actually go out and find out what the client values. What are some ways that they can go out and find what the client values?
They ask, and that's the most important way. And people will, in fact, I would say go to the people who have been buying from you, who are repeat buyers, who maybe even are your personal walking ambassadors, and don't just call them on the phone, but take them out for a cup of coffee or breakfast or lunch. Make sure you pick up the check and ask them, and you can let them know we're all subject to our own belief systems.
Yes,
right? We see
perceptions.
the world in a perception,
Yeah.
and we see the world in a certain way. What I want to know is, Mr. or Ms. Customer, what is it about what we do that you find to be of value? Why have you continued to come back? Why do you refer? I mean, we love that you do. We appreciate it so much, but I'd love to get it from your viewpoint just to make sure that I'm actually on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised. They'll tell you these things, and you'll begin to really understand and get why this person's doing business with you.
Yeah, that's great, Bob.
Well, Bob, I got a question. Do you work in Books A Million a lot when you do interviews?
Do I work in Books A Million?
Yeah, all those books behind you.
Oh, and that's a tiny little piece of my library. It's all over the house. I mean, upstairs.
That was a bad joke. You didn't get, he's like, what?
I knew it was a joke, Bob. I was
joke.
trying. I know. I was trying to.
Well, Bob,
I guess I've got to develop my irony gene or something.
But Bob, we have we did this partnership with a new application called Hear Me Out. It's it's their stick is everybody wants to be heard, so you can record a 42-second rant, and every week we post what the topic's going to be, and we got 2 responses, and we're going to play these questions from the application. This one's from AM Bar, and then after I play it, you can answer his question for him. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Any day now. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to refresh this.
You want me to sing?
Yeah, sing a song.
Any day now. Is that a song?
My question is to Mr. Burg. I heard about your book, The Go-Giver, and I want to know, I'm a student, and in terms of career, everything looks pretty blurry right now. I wanted to ask you, what would be the best tip that you can give in terms of knowing how to focus on future career?
Did you get that?
Yeah, I did get that.
Okay.
And without knowing him personally, without knowing his strengths, weaknesses, and so forth, his desires, what he's really looking for, I'm not in the position to provide anything specific, but I can do this. I can suggest to him that he take a sort of a personal accounting, first of all, of what he really loves to do. I mean, where is your passion? What do you just love? What do you just enjoy so much that you would like to do it all the time? Okay, so that's first. It's what you love to do. Then, what are your strengths? What are you good at? What do you have a natural, an inclination for? And typically, it tends to work out the way we've been created, that we usually have some kind of intuitive abilities toward what we enjoy. Now, that's not always the case. My dream growing up would be to be the third baseman for the Boston Red Sox. That was my passion, but the talent wasn't necessarily there. When I say necessarily, I mean it definitely wasn't. So, however, had I wanted to be in baseball, I could have maybe been a statistician if I was good in math, which I also wasn't, or I could have been in or something. So take what you love and what you're great at, and then, now this is key, you find a way to tie that into what people will pay for. In other words, it's got to be marketable. Too often I hear people say, just follow your bliss or follow your passion and the money will take care of itself. That's not true. That's not good advice. It's partway true. Okay, you should follow your passion. Why not? You're going to spend a lot of time at work. It should be doing something that you love, something you feel you're making a contribution to humanity, something that you're just enjoying from the inside out. And something that you're good at, and you can always learn the skills for the most part, but then you've also got to find why it's marketable. You've got to determine why that is who will pay for that, because if they won't pay for it, obviously then you've just got a hobby. Now, what I would also suggest he do is this: start getting yourself some books and begin reading books that will build you from the inside. I think Hank mentioned How to Win Friends and Influence People. I would start with that book. That would be a wonderful book to get. Get the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and go through that book again and again and again and again. It's a wonderful guide for success. Get Dr. David Schwartz's classic, The Magic of Thinking Big. Again, it's these are books. Yeah, get James Allen's 1915 classic, As a Man Thinketh. And these are going to put the great thoughts, these are going to help build you on the inside, okay? The big thing you want to do, and then, by the way, the 1910 classic, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Again, another fan. Now, I don't want to overwhelm you. So don't get them all at the same time. Don't think you have to read all of them. Start with one of them and go from there. But as you start getting this into your head and into your heart and start building your confidence internally, at the same time, do whatever job you can find, okay? And do it the best that you possibly can. Always give more in value than what you're being paid for. And soon you'll end up getting paid for more than even what you're doing. But then, of course, you want to keep giving more in value and keep advancing that way. So that's how to start. But don't worry and think, oh, you have to have the answer right now. You don't. Start thinking about what you love, what you're good at, how it could be marketable. Start reading some of those great classics, and then get whatever job you need to in order to make money and support yourself and be able to save a little bit and let that grow. And you'll see as your attitude starts to shift and your confidence starts to rise, all of a sudden there's no stopping you.
All right, that's great advice. I guess you can send him a bill for that. This last one here is from GVS. He contributes a lot to the Jeff Adams Show. Let's listen to what question he has for Mr. Bob Burg.
Hi, Jeff and Mr. Burg. I have a question. I like the idea of giving, and I try to live my life according to that. But in the business world, in your workplace, it's a dog-eat-dog world. If you always give, I mean, people will run over you. So how am I supposed to combine that giving and the fact that it's a world of sharks?
He didn't read the book, I guess, huh?
Well, sure, but that's okay because what he did is he looked at the title, The Go-Giver, and he made basically created his own story around it. In other words, giving must mean giving yourself away, or not making a profit and being so nice you get taken advantage of, which we talked about earlier. But that's okay. That's understandable. That's what he thought. No, there's no being a go-giver doesn't mean remember, it doesn't mean you're a doormat. Doesn't mean you get taken advantage of. When we talk about giving, how are we defining it? Constantly and consistently providing value to the marketplace. Here's the thing. Doesn't matter if it's dog eat dog. By the way, it isn't always. It is in some places, but it isn't always. And what you want to do is, if you do the right thing, the people who are dog eat dog, you're going to repel those people. They're not going to be around you. You're going to attract the people you want to attract. But even so, let's look at what the 5 laws and how these apply, and where giving value comes into play. You have a product or a service. This product or service, in order for others to buy it, must give them more in use value than what they're paying for. Otherwise, what would happen? They wouldn't buy it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter that it's dog eat dog. Even if you're the worst dog out there, you again, assuming that you're playing within the rules, and that's where the legitimate function of government is, to protect from force and fraud. But other than that, to stay away and let people do business with one another and let the marketplace, put things in its proper place. But remember, if someone's lying or stealing or force, that's theft, and they can go to jail for that.
Right.
So there's lots of people who are dog eat dog, but they keep things very legal because it's in their best interest to do so. They don't want to go to jail. So we're just looking at that worst part of society that thinks that way, okay? That operates that way, I mean. So even that person who is a dog-eat-dog person, they've got to provide more in value than what they take in payment. Law number 2 says your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. So in other words, for thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to buy that person's product, they've got to make a great product that people are willing to pay for. Because they don't care if you're dog eat dog or not. They either want your product or they don't. Okay?
Right.
We'll talk about the law of influence, placing other people's interests first. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't care how nasty, mean, or dog eat dog that person is. If they want their customers to buy, they've got to do things in such a way that their customer values it. So they've got to put their customers' interests first.
Hey, Bob, I have a question for you. I think, too, I like what he was asking and what we're talking about. Because in the internet world, a lot of people do free content. So I think when we're talking about giving value, people are talking about their time. And time, you know, in the business world, what he's talking about, dog eat dog, equals money. And I think that's maybe sometimes, maybe that's where that guy's question is coming from. But what would you say as far as like on the internet world where they're saying, you know, give away as much free content as possible? Well, when you're literally working your whole time doing all this free content, when do they start charging?
Well, remember, free content is a strategy and it's a tactic.
But it can be valuable, though. It can be very valuable.
Not just can be, it is often very, very valuable.
Yeah, some of it's not.
Saying that.
I've seen some out there that's not. Go ahead, sorry.
It's okay. When I said strategy or tactic, I didn't mean that's a bad thing. I was just saying it's a strategy or a tactic. And the reason why you put out free content, like I do, I have blogs that are free. When people come to Burg.com, they get a free chapter of the Go Giver in my new book. Why? Because our feeling is if they read that one free chapter and they enjoy it enough, they're going to then feel very secure in plunking down the money to buy the rest of the book.
Right.
If you have someone come to if you're an accountant and you have a free special report or video or audio on how to best put your expenses into a way to do it so that it's going to make it easier at tax time. Not only is it helpful information to the person, but it says to that person, oh yeah, this person knows what they're doing.
Right.
So it's a wonderful, but that's not being a go-giver, and it's not being a go-giver. It's just a strategy. It's a tactic. And so it's one way of establishing and furthering relationships. But that doesn't mean you give away the store. Typically what you do is you give away enough free content so that, of course, it is of value. It is of very good value to the person, but they also understand that to get even more value, they need to do business with you personally and pay for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sure. There's everything right about that. So, but I don't see that as dog eat dog. I see that as being simply part of the marketplace. As we have more and more content out there and more ways of distributing that content, people are going to put more and more free content out there in order to attract people to them. That's fine. You just need to be able to do that better than the next person and position yourself that way.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, we're talking to Bob Burg. Thanks for coming on the show. We've got to go to break. But Bob, this is a very special episode because this is number 50 for me. 50 episodes in and Jeff
Happy
Adams
50.
Show.
Happy 50.
Happy 50, Jeff. I'm glad you're turning 50 today.
I'm not turning 50. Getting close.
Mid-show crisis.
But Bob, thank you so much for coming on the show again. You guys want to talk movies? Hit me up for real.
Thank you so much, Bob. That was really, really, really awesome.
My pleasure. And we do invite people to get that first chapter at Burg, that's BURG.com, of The Go-Giver, and my newest book, Adversaries into Allies, which they might feel comfortable, and they can connect with me on social media there. So come on and hang out. And I just want to thank you all for having me on the show. This has been a real pleasure, and I appreciate you all very much.
Oh, thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be back after these messages.
You're listening to The Jeff Adams Show. It's creative comedy for ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
Whippy, look at me. I'm pushing a cart. What is your problem over there?
Because just imagine you at Walmart pushing the car.
In any event, if you're enjoying today's guest, go to Burg.com. Burg. Burg is the word. Sorry, Bob. I had to do it. Burg.com. Get some of his books. What kind of books can he get in this online bookstore, Kris? Oh, wait a minute. You're muted.
And you could get the Go-Giver, which you'll be talking today, or you could get the Go-Giver Sell More, or you even could get an awesome book that I like to say is not all about you, or his newest book, Adversaries into Allies.
Burg.com. Buy a book today. And look at me. I'm pushing a shopping cart. Whoopee! Yes. Tune in. Tune in to what? What am I tuning into, Kris?
Oh, man, come on. Really? If you go to your app store, you could go check it out, tune in. Download them, search for JA Creative, and listen to us 24/7.
That sounds like a great deal.
It does.
Can you do it on your Android device too?
You can do it on Android. You can do it on your iTunes. You can even do it on the computer. Search tunein.com and search for JA Creative.
But why would anybody want to take this station with them? I don't understand that at all. But anyways, go download the app. Quickly, tune in, baby!
Hey world, it's 6:34 a.m. and I'm just about to start my morning run.
For thousands of years, stories have been told. Funny, sad, thrilling, touching. Each story has been told by a different person who's given it a unique flavor, their own voice. Times have changed, we've changed, but everyone still wants to be heard. Now it's your turn to share your stories with the world with your own voice. Introducing Hear Me Out, the new way to share the real you.
Join with me on Hear Me Out app, where you could be featured on the Jeff Adams Show with Hear Me Out. Just use hashtag The Jeff Adams Show and ask us anything you want, and we might play your audio clip live on the air every single week. That's hashtag The Jeff Adams Show on Hear Me Out app. Ask us anything, and we might play your clip live on the air. So join the revolution at Hear Me Out.
Like stars.
Yes! I didn't want to. I was kind of reserved in that interview.
I didn't want to ask too many questions, but I wanted to come from the perspective of a listener who does have those objections. Of,
Oh yeah.
You know, like
That was a good one.
Yeah, he was awesome. I mean,
because a lot of listeners don't get it.
I was enjoying my 50th episode watching it. It was amazing. Bob is full of information, and that's why I was just.
He was
like,
awesome.
I was enthralled with what he was saying. I was just like, wow, that's some knowledge.
Some knowledge indeed.
So. I think well, we're gonna have some fun here. This is like a 50th. We've got what we got 18 minutes to go.
I should have brought a cake for you in our 50th.
I know. I didn't know it was the 50th, Jeff. Why didn't you tell us?
50th show. I mean,
I just did my 50th podcast. We're on the same timeline.
And you've been killing it. But I've been doing this since what? I do like 16 shows and then take a break.
You would take big breaks.
Big breaks, like yeah.
People were like, Nicole, where's Jeff? I'm like, I don't know. That's his new show. Where's Jeff?
Where's Jeff? He's moving. I might probably have to move out of this room. It's so hot.
Oh my God, it is hot.
It'll take another 6 months. I'll come back. We'll get the 51 in 2017.
Summertime will be great. Don't worry.
So Hank,
yes, sir.
Hank's over there just thinking about his day, stressing out.
Fireball.
What's going on, Hank?
Not much, Jeff.
We're gonna play a game.
Oh, we are?
I can't play with you because me and Chris
already know about it.
We already know about
That's
it.
so uncool.
But
I
Chris,
feel like this is gonna be a game that puts me on blast.
no, it's not. It's not gonna put you on blast.
Oh, okay.
I promise.
What would he
But
put
it's
you
gonna
on
do
blast?
something.
Look,
What would
Hank
put you
was
on blast at the
already
beginning?
scared. That's not
exactly.
good.
He is.
I'm saying
already
you've
scared.
conditioned me to be afraid.
There's nothing to be afraid about.
Okay.
So what we're gonna
We're
do?
afraid, Hank. We're afraid.
We're gonna play a brand
I'm
new
afraid.
game. We're gonna say real or fake, right?
Okay.
This is like truth or dare.
Nope.
No, real or fake. What we're going to
Am
talk
I
about this
playing?
week? Yes, you're playing. You and Nicole. We were going to have Bob play, but we went over in time, so he had to go.
Okay.
So Hank and Nicole's playing. All right, real or fake. And this week is real businesses, real or fake. All right.
Okay.
Are you going to show us pictures? Is this visual or audio?
It's visual.
All right.
visual.
Got a little theme music going on.
That's the first
This
one.
week we have Nicole, Welch, and Hank the Tank Taylor playing fake or real.
Nincome soup.
Nincome soup.
All right. Nincome soup.
Fake.
Hank?
Nincome soup. Oh, that's like too punny. Like it could be for real.
I agree with Hank.
It could be. I'm gonna say fake.
Survey says
It is
Dang it.
Ah, Should have gone. We should have gone for
Where
it.
was it at? Where is it at?
I don't have a ding button. I just have a buzzer.
Yeah, you need a ding button. You need a wrong. That's what you need. We'll just do a voiceover.
All right, this one right here.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
I poo-poo-my-pants.com.
See, I believe
that sounds real to me. Exactly. I'm with Hank on that one. We go for real.
You're both.
You both go for real?
I'm
Yeah,
going for real.
it totally sounds real.
It is fake.
Oh man, Hank, we are
Oh my
stinking
goodness.
at this.
Here we go. Here's the next
Stinking
one.
like poo poo my pants.
Stinking like I poo pooed my. Wasn't that a commercial?
I'll cut you. I will.
That's
cut
totally
you.
real. That's totally real.
Hank?
Wait, a business though?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a business.
I'll cut
This
you.
is like Donald Trump. You're fired. I don't know, Hank. What do you think?
I'll cut you. I feel like that could be a couple different
think
things. It
it's
could be like a barber.
Uh-huh.
It could be a barber shop.
That's true.
I'm gonna go with real.
Real? Nikki?
At some point, we're gonna.
I'm
have
gonna
to
do the odds. Yeah, I'll say fake just
What?
for the. I
At
just
some
like to
point,
hear
we'll
your
have
bad
to
wrong.
switch.
Survey says
Nicole, you're wrong. I will.
it's a
cut
barber
you.
shop.
I mean,
You're
I
smart,
don't know if I
Hank.
can hardly classify that.
I know,
venue as a
really. Would
real
you actually
business.
go in there and get your hair cut there
Oh,
with two
no.
cars in the parking lot?
No.
So now I'm up 1-0.
Is that it? Do we have any
No,
more?
we got more. We got more.
Do you realize where I cut you came from? I'll cut
Mad
you.
TV.
Yeah, it was from the
Yeah, Matt
gangs,
TV.
dude.
Angela Johnson. You
Yeah.
never seen that skit?
Matt TV.
Chris never seen that
No,
skit.
I never seen that.
I did
What?
used to watch. I
Yeah.
used to watch Matt TV. But
Wow,
I don't
now I
remember
feel
that.
like the oldest one in the room with Jeff.
See, I seen I'll Kill You.
Well, she's
You're
big.
just funny.
She's a big comedian. She married the guy I used to manage in Group One Crew, Manuel. Angela
Yeah.
Johnson.
Manuel.
Yeah,
I will cut you.
Say his
You
name
check,
right.
Check it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it.
All right, here's the next
Another
one.
I will cut
All right.
you.
Here's the next one. Nicole?
Why do I always have to go first?
Yahoo
Yahoo
Plumbing.
Plumbing.
Yahoo
Ladies
Plumbing.
first.
That's pretty funny.
Yahoo
I'm
Plumbing.
just digging the names. I'm going to say real. What the heck?
Real?
I'm going fake.
You going fake?
I'm going
Survey
fake.
says
I'm going to be so mad if
Hank,
you
you
win.
are
is real.
wrong.
Oh, yeah, you're wrong. Good, I'm right.
Nicole gets one right. Hank, one more for you, Hank.
One more.
Hey, now, let me ask you a question, though. Would they get in trouble from, like, assuming
From
that's, like,
Yahoo?
Yahoo?
Yeah.
It's
Because that is
literally-
pretty
It,
hardcore.
it looks just like
What's the
Yahoo.
word? There's a legal word to that.
I think
remember
they would
it.
get in trouble if they used the tagline to go, yeah,
Because it even looks like it even looks like they're writing.
yeah, boo.
All right.
They totally stole it.
Here's the next one.
That was awesome.
Skiprocks.com.
Let's go to Hank.
Oh, I don't
Skips
know.
Rocks.
What do you think, Hank?
Skip.com.
Is that real
Skip
or
Rocks.
fake?
What would that be
Skip
for?
Rocks or
Yeah,
Skip Rocks?
Just like it says on my screen, bro.
Oh, like Skip rocks it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Skip's rocking it.
Or like this is a website devoted to skipping rocks.
All right. So is it a business
So-
or is it not a business?
Is it a business?
I mean, it could be a domain name. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's a business.
Right, yeah. That's very true. I'm going to say fake.
Yeah,
on
I'd say
this.
fake on that one.
All right.
We better be right, Hank.
You guys are wrong.
Oh, come on.
Do we have a video for that?
Yeah, what kind
Yeah,
of business
check
is
this
it?
out.
Check this out.
I came up with that one, but I was trying to find names.
Wait, so you
that didn't
came up with
exist.
it?
No, I tried, and then we looked on the domain to see if there was a business attached to it. And
You
this
like
is what came
skipping
up
rocks.
to it. Check this out.
Everybody.
And they sell them for a price? Are they giving value here?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's.
Is this
don't
a
know.
win-win situation?
I don't know. Here's the other one.
I feel like if I was in high school.
Oh my God, I love it. Rent a hamster.
All right.
I say
Real or
real.
fake?
Real.
real. All right.
No, I'm
Hank?
gonna,
There's
I'm-
monkey
I'm gonna-
helpers. There are
this-
monkey helpers that are real.
This sounds like something Jeff pulled out of the air. This sounds
Okay.
like something
Pulled a
Jeff,
hamster out of his ear.
a Jeff Adams product.
All
I'm gonna say
right.
it's
Survey says
Real.
It is
fake.
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 Dang it.
Hey, what happened to the buzzer?
This
I don't
game.
know.
I knew it.
Oh, there it is.
I knew it.
I just, you know what it is? I like to vote positive on names I like.
Blame
Rent
it
a
all on
hamster
me.
is a cool name. It's better than Skip Rocks.
It is true. That is better. Than
I feel like
Hank
we need to take Skip Rocks out of the equation. I don't know if we can count that. as a
Hank?
real- as a
Yeah, I
real
think we should tab him with Hank on that one.
What'd you want to say, Hank?
Blame it all on me.
Hank, you're winning anyway. It doesn't matter.
Hank.
Yeah, let's just blame Hank.
Blame it all on me. Hank, blame it all on me, Taylor.
Hank, it's all right.
Blame it all on me.
Hank.
Blame it.
Come on, Hank.
All right, is there any more? Is that it?
Is
That's
that
all
it?
you got,
That's all we
guys?
got.
Come
That's all we
on,
got.
bring it.
We did that because of time. We thought we'd be in a crunch
Yeah.
with Bob Burg, but it went by fast already.
So did I win?
Yeah, you won. What did Hank win?
Hank
for prize?
wins
Free copy of The Go-Giver.
For the
a
50
free copy of The Go-Giver.
And
wait, do I really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
And you won.
Oh, I didn't know
Okay, this is very
Did
special.
any listeners win? Do we have any games for them?
I think the two people that did the Hear Me Out thing, they get a book.
Okay.
Hey, listeners, if you screen grab us off of our live stream, you could win a chance at a free copy of The Go-Giver.
I guess Hank is buying
I like the way that
thank you.
I like
Listen
the
to
way
this.
Hank says that.
I like that. I want to do some like thanks and stuff. I mean, I don't want to get like Eddie Murphy.
Corny.
Like, that brings back memories. Becca, she's actually in the chat room. She's followed me from close to the beginning, like off and on.
When you were a little infant show.
Yeah, when you're a little infant show with me and the Merry Monk. First of all, I want to thank the Merry Monk. I wish I could came up with a collage of doing like 50 shows because the show's transformed in so many different things. And I want to thank,
Transform.
Merry Monk. He works at Key Life Communications. And thank you for always being my co-host and coming in the future every once in a while through Skype and joining us. And Stephen Haywood, the Tech Buzz. Thanks so much for taking something so raw and pushing me to the limits to become excellent. And we still are striving for that. Sometimes we fail. But Steve, thanks so much for just being, believing in the show and producing the show for many, many episodes through the TTB network. That was really, really awesome. Wish you could still help produce, but timing, we're at 1 o'clock and can't do a show at 5 o'clock. Stuff happens. But thank you so much. And Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for always picking up the show on the FM dial. Amazing. And then, you guys, Randy at Lakeland TV and Nicole, Hank and, RC Kris, staying all these extra hours. Kris, just by my side doing this thing and trying to get it right. But I'm looking forward for 50 more shows to happen. And
50 more.
Where's the champagne?
We should have bought a cake. I would have totally brought a freaking cake. I bake. I love to bake.
Here's the cake
Here's your
right there.
champagne right there.
So we'll have to do a 51st.
Cupcakes for everybody.
No, we don't want to
A
see your
51st
zits.
cake.
Although cake does cause pimples.
Cupcakes for everybody.
It's the sugar, people.
You need some
Stay
sugar?
away from sugar.
You need some sugar? There we go.
We can have a cake for our 51st episode.
Yeah, we'll have a cake next week.
We'll do 51st.
I'll make cake.
But I'm liking we talked about that a couple weeks ago, Becca, and Ronch was a part of the show. He passed away several weeks ago. He co-hosted the show with me 2 or 3 times via Skype, and he's gonna be missed, man. I heard they had a huge big party for him.
Already happened?
Phoenix. Huh?
The funeral already happened?
Yes, they had a big deal like last weekend.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
he'll be part of the show for the rest of your radio career because he's on the intro.
Yeah, he wasn't on the intro we played today, but on the other intro, yes, he's on there.
He's on the other one.
But I'm liking the vibe of the show. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean,
it's getting good.
It's a nice little.
You gotta start recording pre-shows, though, man. We were pretty off
wild.
the chain.
Even if it's just for us.
We even had Bob.
Even if it's just
dancing.
for us.
We even had Bob
was
dancing. Yeah, everybody missed that.
He's
I
a
love
good
it.
dancer.
He is. Oh,
we got some chair dancing going on.
Chair dancing. Here we go. Whoop, whoop. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Jeff Adams doing the.
That was bad.
Yeah, you were better in pre-show, dude.
You were.
I don't know. I can't.
There's something about knowing you're recorded.
I don't know. This show I really think has to be. I mean, you guys, Kris is in the politicking. You're a great interviewer, Nicole.
Oh,
right?
Thanks.
Nicole, that was
Hank,
awesome.
You're just an amazing man, anyways, with a voice of steel.
He's amazing. I love him.
But you know what? I really figured out today, and I loved having Bob on here. Let me turn down this little dance party real quick. As I found out, is like I have to stay in a group, and if I can't stay in that pocket,
I did notice that. Yeah.
If I can't stay in that lane of just being a goof off, I just
it's bad. Yeah,
authentic.
It's not
You
your
gotta be
passion.
authentic. You gotta be authentic.
It's your passion, dude.
Yeah.
It's where you're at. It's where you're on.
I want to make people laugh.
That's what you want to do?
Dude, you were making me laugh so hard before
bottom line.
the show went on. My face hurt. My actual
I get a
face
headache.
hurt.
All right, me and Jeff went to Fort Lauderdale for this big thing.
Where's your face,
The
Kris?
intra business
Me and Jeff went to Fort
entrepreneur.
Lauderdale, and just to meet this awesome Ryan Salazar. And for the 3 hours, we were serious sometimes, but 99% we were so joking around. It was stupid.
But if Hank and I had been there, you guys would have been 100% laughing the whole time.
Exactly. We would have. Yeah, we would have. We would have.
For sure.
But it was awesome. We gotta take a trip together, just somewhere, just
Oh my
broadcast
gosh.
out of like Jacksonville,
Scary.
and then just go for it. You know,
We should though. That would be
we
fun.
should
Get on the radio somewhere.
We can interview people on the streets. That's what I
Oh,
want
that
to
is
do.
a good
I totally want to
idea.
do that. We have to do that. We gotta
need
make it
Hank.
happen.
Hank,
Who's got a GoPro?
Hank, give me. I
have a
two.
GoPro.
But you know the crazy thing? We got to try it out. Now, the Skype machines that I got, we tried it with like LTE, someone using an LTE phone and going out. Because we could literally send you out in Lakeland anywhere. If you had a hotspot with Wi-Fi,
right?
I could punch you in. You guys could ask people questions in restaurants live.
That's what
Which
I
would be a
wanna
lot
do.
of fun, I think.
That would be fun.
It would be fun.
You know, Hank, you could go to Southeastern and
Yeah.
start asking people questions.
That would be fun.
Start a whole JA Creative New Media movement.
And then we could go to Florida Southern, do it there.
Yep, and then I'll go to
Go
UCF.
Mocs.
I'm close to UCF.
We'll ask really scandalous questions.
Oh yeah.
Go
It's-
Mocs, go
It's
Fire,
not
go
confirmed
Knights.
yet. It's
That's
not
right.
confirmed yet, but
College students.
Juicy.
And and
So
honestly,
juicy.
talks like what we had today are really important for college age
It is.
students.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
as people who are still trying to figure out, you know, who
What
we
they're
are,
doing.
what
Yeah.
our direction is, what our calling is, you know,
How
the
do you
gifts
eat?
and the skill sets and how to eat. The gifts and the skill sets that God has given us in our life. We're still trying to
Yeah.
figure out I find that in a lot of like my peers, we all kind of know what our gifts and our talents are, but how to translate that into a career is something
Right.
where we have
Yep.
kind of a disconnect at our
Yeah,
age.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm really passionate about. I would love to do that. We got to do it. We got to make it happen, Jeff.
let's do it.
Jeff, you
Let's do
you
it.
were gonna say something
This is
about
the
something
dreaming
that is not
portion.
confirmed.
The dreaming.
Oh,
portion.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's not confirmed yet, but it looks like Chef Irvine's coming on the show from Restaurant Impossible. Boom.
Boom.
I can't wait to do my imitation of
Roasted.
him. Can't wait.
Roasted.
Can't wait. He's coming in Lakeland. He's coming to Lakeland
When?
Center.
Like soon?
Yeah. It has nothing to do with food. It's
Sure.
just some kind of game show thing he's doing or something. Something
Nice.
other. I better get that straightened out before he comes on the show. But
Yeah.
anyways.
Probably.
But I think he'll probably do Skype because of
Busy schedule.
yeah, he's the nights before. I think he's here like on a Friday or Saturday, so he's doing a little tour. So he'll probably be in another city when he does it. So, anyways, yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait.
That's awesome, dude.
We're gonna get bigger and better, stronger, faster, like the $6 Million Man,
Yeah.
all day long,
All day long.
all day long.
J Creative.
This has been the dreaming portion of the Jeff Adams Show.
Yeah, it's a
Vision
traditional.
casting, looking ahead.
It's not how I would want to have. I think we had our party before the show. We kind of just like
We did, dude. I'm telling you, man, that was crazy.
It was awesome.
that's how all the live shows should be is craziness.
Yeah.
They
Always.
should.
So we started comedy, then we got serious, and we end with comedy, and we say goodbye.
That's right. That's the way
I
to
can't
do
believe
it.
Hank beat me in that game.
Hank's
That
pretty
was
good.
a good game, though. That was a good
That
game.
was a good game.
That was a
wow.
good game. And just so you guys know, that game will be more and more. and more.
Rentahamsterpeople.com.
I think we need to start that
for all your
business.
hamster needs.
Say that one more time. Do it one more time.
What was it?
Wait.
That sound made me.
Rentahamster.com.
That sound made me outwardly uncomfortable, Jeff.
Are you worried there's hamsters in here?
We're just getting all
Hank
squirmish
the
over there.
hamster tank. Hank gets into a tank full of hamsters on the next Fear Factor. You know who I'm going to get?
Ooh.
Joe Brogan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Joe
baby.
Rogan has a very
Rogan,
successful
sorry.
podcast.
Isn't he?
No, but I'm asking for him to come. He
Oh.
should come on this show.
Oh.
That would be cool.
I
would be
actually
cool.
would like that in my sports broadcasting.
Let's do it. Let's
Could
do
get
it.
some networking going.
Okay, I'll make it happen.
I've always wanted to announce in the UFC.
But we've got to watch the curse words. I got to get a dump button in here, and then I wouldn't be so
Am I
scared.
cussing?
Curse word? Who's
No.
cussing? Oh,
I was like, gosh, did I cuss
Joe
Chris?
Rogan.
I was like, who
Rogan
missed
might,
it? Did I miss
Yeah,
that curse word?
Joe Rogan.
Like, I didn't mean to.
It's like I had a couple people on my show that would cuss. And
No,
they
but
go,
they're
"Oops,
cool.
I'm
You
sorry."
just ask them. You just ask them before. Because I have people, I mean, I edit out a lot, but
But when you're so used to using those words, they just come
that's
out.
true. It's hard, yeah.
You ever
So-
listen to his podcast?
Joe Rogan
It's
doesn't
very-
cuss on, yeah.
on his podcast. He is a
He
little
does.
more off color.
Okay.
And he's a very serious dude too. He was on Alex Jones one time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
talking about stuff. So yeah, guys, thanks
He's
for hanging
deep.
out. Go
Thanks,
ahead. What
thank
you
you.
gonna say?
I said he's deep. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's deep. Thank
deep.
you.
That's how you're going to finish
Get
that?
deep.
That's how you're going to finish the show. He's deep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm bringing cake next week, people, okay?
There's no cake.
So that Jeff
For the
can get more
51.
pimples.
There's no cake. But to those listening and watching the Jeff Adams Show, we thank you. And we'll be back next week.
Be deep.
Jeff Adams Show. Anybody plugs? Any plugs you done? Any plugs?
No.
Plugs?
Gosh,
I
you
will
guys are-
next week. I'll have a plug next week.
I got a plug.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm absolutely.
Actually, I do.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You go ahead.
You go
no,
first.
No, you're first. No, yeah.
I'm doing a conference, kind of like what Hank was talking about, where your passions and you're trying to make them meet to, make money and get into business. Called When the Shift Hits the Fan. It's in April 11th.
Sweet. Jeff?
That sounds really awesome.
Hits the fan. It's all about the mind shift.
Dump.
No, I got a plug. I don't have to go anywhere this weekend. It's great. It's my plug.
Southeastern University men's basketball plays tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock? I might have to check it out.
All right.
You're announcing it. Can you?
I will be announcing.
There
Jeff.
you go.
I will be announcing Jeff.
All right. Till next time, you've been watching The Jeff Adams Show and listening. JA Creative New Media. Peace out.